What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are gonna work on the engine again. As you saw in my last video, we completely cleaned up the whole cylinder, the bottom half and the top half. So now we are gonna install it back on the engine, back on the crankcase, and then we can see how the piston moves. As I talked in my last video, there was a little bit of a misunderstanding with how the piston is fitting and whatever, but we're gonna see how that fits right now. But first, what we're gonna have to do, we're gonna have to clean up the gasket, put the two crankcase halves a little bit tighter together so we have a completely sealed engine. But let me show you what I'm gonna do. So this is the engine with the old crank. As I told before, we're gonna put the old one in there because a new one is hard to find. But yeah, this is what I'm gonna have to clean up, the whole gasket and the sealant that I used. Even on the inside there is some leftovers right there. I'm gonna clamp it a little bit, then clean up this whole surface. Even the underside, there is some stuff on the underside. I'm just gonna use an X-Acto knife to clean it all up, and then we can reinstall the cylinder kit with the piston. So let's get started on that, clean it all up, prepare it, and then we can go over the next steps that we're gonna have to do. So here it is, all cleaned up. Now I didn't do a lot of work on the backside because video wise it would take a long time to clean it up nice and perfect, and I can do that after I install the cylinder head and the whole bottom part and whatever. So I put the struts in, they are nice and tight. I put some Loctite in there just to make sure that they stay in there. When you loosen up these nuts, sometimes the whole stud comes out and that is pretty annoying, so I don't want that. So a little bit of Loctite on the inside. As you saw, I put it in the hole and not on the outside, because when you put it on the threads of the rods, when you stick them in, the whole Loctite comes out of here and it's all nasty stuff. So it's in there and it's gonna push it into the threads itself, because these are blind holes. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, on the inside there is a little bit of gasket right there. I mean, the liquid gasket. After a couple of times of rotating, it's gonna come out. It's not gonna damage the cylinder or whatever. It's just pure rubber, it will burn and whatever, so I'm not really worried about that. Now what I'm gonna have to do, here is the cylinder and the cylinder head. The new piston is over there, but here is the old piston. I'm gonna have to take this bearing out, clean it out and get ready for installment. I'm gonna do a dry fit first, where I put the piston on there and lube it up, get the cylinder on there, rotate it, see how it fits and how it works and all. But yeah, I'm gonna start on that. Hopefully everything goes fine and the piston moves smoothly. So the cylinder is on there. It is nice and tight. Not too tight because I have to wait for the liquid gasket to harden up so I can clamp it all the way down. Now it's a little bit tricky to make it all seal up with the gasket and the liquid gasket because you have three parts. You have the crankcase itself, which contains two parts, and the bottom cylinder. So those three pieces need to connect and they need to be sealed up. As you saw, I did a little compression test with my finger and it has a lot of compression, so I'm really happy about that. Now I just have to wait until the liquid gasket is totally hardened up, so next week I can tighten it all the way. But I'm pretty happy about it. When I rotate the crankshaft, it turns really smoothly, and of course with the compression there, I'm pretty happy about it. Now let's talk a little bit how to install the piston. This is the old piston that came in there. It's still good. It just needs to be cleaned up and then it would be ready to go into an engine, but we're gonna save this as a spare part. When you install a piston, there's two things you need to take into consideration. First of all, there is a small arrow on here, as you can see right here. That arrow needs to be pointed towards the exhaust, so keep that in mind. And when you install the piston rings, you need to make sure they slot into these little pins right here. They are offset, so make sure they fit in nicely right there. That is the whole tricky part, sliding on the cylinder, getting that piston nicely in there and pushing the piston rings in there so it seals completely and you don't have any hiccups. Of course, you cannot scratch the inside and whatever, so it's a little bit tricky, but it's pretty easy to do if you have a little bit of practice. What you can do is put the piston rings on your piston and try it without putting it on the engine, just putting the piston in there so you have a feeling how it should fit and how it should feel. So the next thing that I want to do is still plug up these holes, as you can see right here. I talked about it in another video. I still need to make that. Then I'm gonna have to completely seal this one, get it all nice and shiny, polish it or whatever, but get that on permanently, because when we put the whole stuff right here, it's pretty hard to access. Trim, of course, the backside, so that is pretty nice. I'm gonna trim off this flap right here. So then we can start on other stuff like transmission, ignition coil and whatever, all that good stuff. But I have some good news. I got some new parts. Well, they arrived today. I have to go pick them up. I got some new parts for the forks and for the front wheels, so we can have a rolling frame. Of course, the shade is still working on the wheels. They are almost finished. We're gonna order some tires again. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of work, but yeah, I'm pretty happy about the state that we're in there. Of course, working on the fork is gonna be a hassle as itself with the bigger axle that we got, and the pivot point of the forks is gonna be a nightmare, but we're getting closer. I'm pretty happy that we're on this step right now, so that is completely out of the way. Still need to put in the crank seals as well, but yeah, I'm pretty happy. So this is gonna be a shorter video than before. The last video was pretty long, so I don't know if you guys like it or not. Also, I was expecting for the parts to be here so I can show them off and get a more view of what we still need to do. So next week when the parts are here, we're gonna do an unboxing as well. So then we can continue back on the frame, get it all sorted out, because that is gonna be a hassle as well. Still need to connect the back spring, need to work out how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy we got the state that we're in. Too bad the parts didn't arrive, but yeah, that's how it goes. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.